Hello students, this is Kanupriya, PGT Geography, and here I am once again with my next video, that is part 4th on chapter 4, which is chapter 4, Distribution of Oceans and Continents. This is the part 4th video on this particular chapter. In my previous video, we had started with our new topic, that was plate tectonic theory, in which we had studied that plate tectonic theory is a well known and well accepted theory by most of the scientists regarding the distribution of oceans and continents. In this theory, we had studied that there are tectonic plates which are present in the upper layer or upper mantle part, that is asthenosphere. This theory was given by Mackenzie and Parker, later on modified by Morgan. In this theory, it is explained that a tectonic plate is a rigid lithospheric slab which is irregularly shaped and which is horizontally moving over the asthenosphere. We have number of tectonic plates which are constantly moving horizontally over the asthenosphere or upper mantle. These plates can be continental plate and can be oceanic plate. If the tectonic plate is present inside the oceans, then it will be called as an oceanic plate. And if the plate is present under the continents, then it will be called as a continental plate. For example, Pacific plate is an oceanic plate and Eurasian plate is a continental plate. We have 7 major and some minor plates which are present inside the Earth's surface, in which we had studied the 7 major plates which are present are Antarctica plate, Pacific plate, North American plate, South American plate, African plate, Eurasian plate and Indo-Australia-New Zealand plate. So these are the 7 major plates which are present inside the Earth's surface. Now we have some minor plates as well, which includes Cocos, Nazca, Arabian, Philippine, Fuji, Caroline, etc. So these are some minor plates. Now let's discuss what exactly plate tectonic theory explains to us. According to plate tectonic theory, there are tectonic plates which are present inside the Earth's surface and which have been constantly moving over the globe throughout the history of the Earth. It is not the continent that moves, as believed by Wegener. Continents are a part of a plate and what moves is the plate. Moreover, it may be noted that all the plates without exception have moved in the geological past and shall continue to move in the future as well. Wegener had thought of all the continents to have initially existed as a supercontinent in the form of Pangaea. So what it explains that there are tectonic plates which are present in the Earth's surface and which are constantly moving. Wegener had given his theory named as continental drift theory, in which he had explained that continents and land masses are moving. They are drifting apart from each other, they are moving. But according to plate tectonic theory, it is not at all the continent or the land masses which are moving, actually the plates which are present inside the Earth's surface that are moving. And moreover, without any exception, these plates have moved in the geological past, that means it has moved in the past and will continue to move in future as well. Moreover, Wegener also given a thought that continents were part of a supercontinent named as Pangaea. However, later discoveries revealed the fact that continental masses were resting on the plates, and they have been wandering all through the geological period, and this Pangaea, the supercontinent, was a result of the convergence of different continental masses that were parts of one or the other plates. So actually, plate tectonic theory contradicts the theory given by Alfred Wegener named as continental drift theory. According to Wegener, there was a supercontinent named as Pangaea, and all the continents were formed because of the breaking down of Pangaea. But plate tectonic theory says that Pangaea itself was formed because of the convergence of the different land masses, and these land masses are present. They are resting over one or the other plates. So actually the plates must have converged towards each other. They must have united together, and because of which the Pangaea was formed. So actually in this plate tectonic theory, it says the land masses are not at all moving, the continents are not moving. Actually the plates which are present inside the earth's surface, these plates are constantly moving. It has moved in the past and it is moving, and it will be seen in the future as well. So it contradicts. The difference is given between continental drift theory and plate tectonic theory. The second main difference between continental drift theory and plate tectonic theory is that Pangaea was not at all present initially, and the continents were not at all formed because of the breaking down of Pangaea, but actually the Pangaea was formed because of the convergence of different land masses which were resting on one or the other plates. So this was the main concept given in plate tectonic theory. We have different types of plate boundaries. There are three types of plate boundaries. First one is divergent boundaries. Where new crust is generated as the plates pull away from each other. In divergent plate boundaries, the different plates pull away from each other. They move apart from each other. The sites where the plates move away from each other are called as spreading sites. The best known example of divergent boundaries is the mid-Atlantic ridge. At this, the American plate is separated from the Eurasian and African plates. So actually these are those boundaries in which plates move away from each other. So those boundaries are called as divergent plate boundaries, and the site is known as the spreading site. Second one is convergent plate boundaries, where the crust is destroyed as one plate dived under another. The location where sinking of plate occurs is called a subduction zone. There are three ways in which convergence can occur. These are between an oceanic and continental plate, between two oceanic plates, and between two continental plates. So in convergent plate boundaries, two plates move towards each other, and because of which the crust will be destroyed, because one plate dived under another. The location where one plate dived under another, or where the sinking of a plate occurs, is called as the subduction zone. These convergent plate boundaries can occur between an oceanic and a continental plate, between two oceanic plates, or between two continental plates. So these are convergent plate boundaries. Third one is transform boundaries. These are those boundaries where the crust is neither produced nor destroyed, as the plates slide horizontally past each other. Transform faults. Faults are the cracks, are the planes of separation generally perpendicular to the mid-oceanic ridges. So we have discussed three types of plate boundaries, which includes divergent plate boundaries, convergent plate boundaries, and transform plate boundaries. In divergent plate boundaries, new crust is formed, new crust is generated. In convergent plate boundaries, the crust is destroyed, and in transform plate boundaries, neither the crust is produced nor destroyed. So these are the different plate boundaries. Now comes the forces responsible for the plate movement. Plate tectonic theory suggested some forces which are responsible for the movement of the plates. When the continental drift theory was given by Alfred Wegener, at that time most of the scientists believed that this earth is a solid motionless body. But later on, when seafloor spreading, the concept of seafloor spreading and plate tectonic theory was given, then it led to conclude that earth is not at all a static body, it is not motionless, rather it is dynamic. The fact that the plates move is now a well accepted fact. We have mobile rocks, that means there is movement of rocks beneath the rigid plates is believed to be moving in a circular manner. That the rocks which are mobile, which are showing movement beneath the plates, under the plates, that are moving in a circular manner. Now, how these plates and rocks are moving in a circular manner, and because of which the plates are moving? Actually, what happens that there is a molten material which is present inside the earth's surface. This heated material rises upward. As we know that the hot material, because it is lighter, it always rises. So the heated material rises to the surface, it cools down, it spreads and it cools down. And the cooled material is because it is heavy, it always sinks back. It always sinks. So it sinks back to the deeper depth. This cycle is repeated again and again. Again the heated material comes to the surface, it spreads, it cools down, it again sinks. So this circular manner is observed inside the earth's surface, that is earth's interior. And because of which scientists call that circular manner as the convective cell or convection cell or convective flow, and the currents which are generated are called as the convectional currents. This heat inside the earth's surface comes from two main sources. First one is radioactive decay or disintegration of radioactive elements and the residual heat. This concept of convective flow was given by Arthur Holmes in 1930s, and this concept was used by Harry Hess to explain the seafloor spreading. The slow movement of hot and molten metal that lies below the rigid plates is the driving force behind the plate movement. So these are the forces which are responsible for the movement of plates. Now comes the last topic of this particular chapter, which is movement of Indian plate. India was a large island which was situated off the Australian coast in a vast ocean. The Tethys Sea separated it from the Asian continent till about 225 million years ago. India is supposed to have started her northward journey about 200 million years ago at the time when Pangaea broke. India collided with Asia, causing the rapid uplift of the Himalayas. The positions of India since about 71 million years till the present. It also shows the position of Indian subcontinent and the Eurasian plate. About 140 million years before the present, the subcontinent was located as south as 50 degree south latitude. So what it actually means that Indian plate has shown movement over the years. It was initially a part of India, Australia and New Zealand plate. It started its journey, northward journey, about 200 million years ago when Pangaea was broken down, and Tethys Sea separated it from Australian coast. India started its northward journey and collided with Asia continent upwards, leading to the uplift of Himalayas. And about 140 million years before the present, the subcontinent, that Indian subcontinent, was located as south as 50 degrees south latitude. The two major plates were separated by the Tethys Sea, and the Tibetan block was closer to the Asiatic landmass. During the movement of the Indian plate towards the Eurasian plate, a major event that occurred was the outpouring of lava and formation of Deccan Traps. So when there is a movement, when there is a northward journey of Indian plate, a big event occurred, and that was the outpouring of lava, and because of which the Deccan Traps of India were formed. This started somewhere around 60 million years ago, and it continued for a long period of time. Note that the subcontinent was still close to the equator. From 40 million years ago and thereafter, the event of formation of Himalayas took place. Scientists believe that the process is still continuing, and the height of Himalayas is rising even to this date. So, Himalayas are basically formed because of the movement of Indian plate towards the north. It collided with Asia continent, and because of which there is uplift of Himalayas. Scientists believe this fact that the height of Himalayas is still continuing even to this date. So this is the movement of Indian plate. This is the end of the chapter. If you have any doubt related to this chapter, please come up with your doubts. Thank you so much.